What if everything you believed about being rich was upside down? What if the very thing you've been chasing, the money, the status, the possessions, wasn't wealth at all, but a distraction pulling you further away from what you truly desire? Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. A person with millions in the bank, a mansion on the hill, every luxury you can picture. Yet behind the closed doors of their perfect life, they feel hollow, lonely at night, restless in the morning, surrounded by things but starved for meaning. Now imagine another person. They don't own much, maybe just a modest home, a warm meal, a circle of friends who laugh together, and a body that can still breathe deeply and move with ease. Their bank account doesn't impress anyone, but their heart feels full. They are present, connected, alive. So, who is truly rich? That's the question we're going to explore today. Not just with words, but with an experience, a meditation that will let you feel the truth of abundance in your own body, here and now. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might change the way you measure wealth for the rest of your life. When most people hear the word rich, the first image that comes to mind is money. Numbers in a bank account, luxury cars, expensive homes, endless vacations. From childhood, we are told directly or indirectly that financial wealth is the ultimate marker of success. Parents hope for it, schools prepare us for it, society celebrates it. But what happens when we chase this single definition of wealth without question? Too often, we arrive at the so-called finish line only to discover that it doesn't give us the fulfillment we were promised. Think for a moment about the people you admire most, not for their money, but for the way they live, the way they shine. Maybe it's a friend who always shows up when you need them, a teacher who made you feel seen, a grandparent whose wisdom shaped your path. Their richness has little to do with possessions. It comes from love, kindness, presence, and purpose. And that's where the secret begins. True wealth cannot be reduced to dollars. It is measured in experiences that touch the heart and in connections that feed the soul. Let's imagine two different lives. In one life, there is constant striving for more. Every achievement quickly becomes old news. The new promotion only creates pressure for the next one. The new car feels outdated in a year. This person is never satisfied because satisfaction has been defined as something outside of them, always moving just out of reach. In the other life, there is still ambition, but it is guided by deeper values. Work is done with integrity, not just for the paycheck. Relationships are nurtured, not neglected. Health is cared for, not sacrificed for endless hours of labor. This second life may not look glamorous on the outside, but on the inside, it is rich, abundant, with joy, presence, and peace. Here's the truth. Financial wealth is not bad. Money is a tool, and tools can build or destroy depending on how they are used. But when money becomes the only lens through which we view life, it blinds us to the treasures that are already present. A walk in the park with someone you love, a shared meal filled with laughter, the sunrise that paints the sky every morning without asking for anything in return. These are riches beyond measure, available to anyone who chooses to see them. This is why so many people who have it all still feel empty. The mansions and luxury do not compensate for a lack of meaning. In fact, chasing only financial gain often pulls people further away from what they truly need: connection, belonging, love, and health. How many stories have we heard of wealthy celebrities who confess to feeling isolated and depressed? Their lives become a warning sign. Money alone is not enough. Now let's turn inward. As you listen, notice your own body. Notice the breath moving in and out. Right here, in this simple rhythm, you are experiencing wealth. The air is free, infinite, sustaining you without effort. Your body works tirelessly, your heart pumping, your lungs expanding, your cells renewing, and you did not have to earn any of it. What greater richness could there be than life itself continuing with such generosity? Imagine for a moment that you could measure wealth, not by money, but by the depth of your relationships, the strength of your health, the clarity of your mind, and the peace of your heart. How would your life look then? Would you still consider yourself poor, or would you suddenly recognize how much you already have? True wealth begins in recognition. Recognition of the gifts we overlook because we've been conditioned to see only dollar signs. When you wake up in the morning and take that first deep breath, that's wealth. When you hear the voice of someone you love, that's wealth. When you feel your feet grounded on the earth, when you remember a moment of kindness, when you laugh so hard you forget yourself, that is wealth. And it is a kind that cannot be stolen, lost in the stock market, or devalued by inflation. The problem is not that people desire more, it's that they chase it in the wrong place. We look outward, thinking abundance is hidden in possessions, but abundance has always been an inner state, a way of seeing the world. When you carry gratitude in your heart, even the smallest things feel like treasures. When you live with love, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. This shift in perception is what transforms a life from scarcity to true wealth. So let's anchor this idea with a small reflection. Picture yourself holding two lists. On the first list are all the things money can buy: clothes, houses, electronics, vacations. On the second list are things money cannot buy: the sound of a child's laughter, the trust of a friend, the health of your body, the peace of a quiet evening, the meaning you find in your purpose. Ask yourself, if you had to choose only one list to take with you for the rest of your life, which would you choose? The answer will show you what richness really means to you. As we continue, I invite you to open your mind to a larger definition of wealth, one that includes money but transcends it, a definition that embraces health, relationships, joy, gratitude, and purpose. Because when you expand your definition, you expand your life, and in that expansion, abundance flows naturally. There's a line often attributed to Bob Marley that cuts straight to the heart. Some people are so poor, all they have is money. Whether those exact words were his or not, the spirit behind them is undeniable. Marley lived his life as if richness was measured in rhythm, in love, in spirit, not in coins or contracts. And when we pause long enough to feel the truth in that statement, it shakes the very foundation of how we define success. Think about it. Imagine a person whose every waking moment is consumed by the desire for more money, more possessions, more recognition. On paper, their life might look enviable, but beneath the surface, there is often a kind of emptiness that no purchase can fill. They might sit at a table covered in food, yet feel starved for genuine conversation. They might live in a mansion and still feel homeless in their own heart. This is the poverty Marley spoke of, the poverty of depth, of connection, of meaning. Now contrast that with someone who has very little in material terms. Maybe they live in a small home, maybe they walk instead of drive, maybe their clothes are simple, yet their days are alive with laughter. They have friends they can call at any hour. Their family bonds are strong, their community close-knit. They rise in the morning with gratitude and they rest at night with peace. Their lives are abundant, not because of what fills their wallet, but because of what fills their soul. What Marley's words reveal is that money, when pursued without awareness, becomes a shallow currency. It measures value only on the surface, never at the level where life truly happens. You can count every dollar, but you cannot count the weight of a hug from someone you love. You can add up assets, but you cannot quantify the meaning of being fully seen by another human being. Money can purchase attention, but never authentic connection. It can buy distraction, but not peace. We live in a world that constantly tempts us to forget this. Advertisements whisper to us, buy this and you will finally be enough. Social media parades images of luxury lifestyles as if they are the pinnacle of happiness. But if you look closer, you will notice a pattern. Those who cling to money as their only form of security often appear more restless, not less. They are haunted by a fear of loss, by the never-ending need for more. And in chasing more, they lose sight of the depth that brings true satisfaction. So let's ask the deeper question. What makes a life rich? Not in theory, but in lived experience. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Recall a memory that fills you with warmth. Perhaps it was a late night conversation with a friend where you felt understood without needing to explain. Maybe it was a walk in nature where the beauty of the world silenced your worries. Or a time when you gave freely your time, your help, your love, and saw the light it sparked in someone else. Did money make those moments possible, or was it something far beyond money that gave them value? Marley's words remind us that wealth without meaning is just another form of poverty. You might possess everything yet still feel like nothing. But when you cultivate depth of connection, depth of gratitude, depth of purpose, you become rich in the ways that matter most. Let's bring this into a meditation reflection. Close your eyes for a moment and breathe deeply. Imagine you're holding in one hand a bag of money, heavy with coins and notes. In the other hand, imagine you are holding a memory that changed you. Maybe the moment you first fell in love, the birth of a child, the sound of a friend's laughter when you needed it most. Which one brings life to your heart? Which one lingers in your body with warmth? This is not to demonize money. It has its place. It can bring comfort, stability, opportunities, but the mistake we make is in assuming it alone can satisfy the deepest hunger of the soul. The hunger for belonging, the hunger for meaning, the hunger for love. Money can never answer those hungers. Only depth can. And here's the paradox Marley pointed to. When you live with depth, money often follows in a healthier way. When you work with passion, when you serve others, when you create from your heart, abundance finds its way back to you, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, relationally. The cycle of giving and receiving becomes natural. You no longer chase money as a savior because you've already discovered what it means to be rich. So today, let this idea echo inside you. You are not poor when you lack possessions. You are poor when you lack depth. And you are rich not when your wallet is full, but when your life is full of connection, gratitude, and love. To truly embody this, take another breath. With every inhale, imagine drawing in depth, awareness, connection, meaning. With every exhale, imagine releasing the illusion that money alone defines you. Stay with this rhythm for a moment. Inhaling depth, exhaling illusion. Feel the truth settle into your chest like a steady flame. This is where wealth begins. This is the richness Marley spoke of, and it is available to you right now, without waiting, without striving, without cost. When you leave this meditation, carry this reminder. Financial success may open doors, but it is the richness of your heart that decides how you walk through them. There's a story told about Bob Marley that captures the essence of true wealth. In an interview, he was once asked, "Are you a rich man?" The interviewer wanted to know about money, possessions, and the trappings of fame. Marley paused and answered simply, "Possessions make you rich? I don't have that kind of richness. My richness is life forever." Those words may sound simple, but they hold a wisdom that challenges the very foundation of how most people live their lives. What did he mean by life forever? Marley wasn't speaking about immortality in the literal sense. He was pointing to something deeper, the richness of experiences, the depth of love, the eternal quality of spirit that outlives material possessions. When he said his richness was life, he was saying that true abundance is found in the moments that touch the soul, in the love we give and receive, and in the community that carries us through. Think for a moment about the possessions you've had in your life. The phone you once couldn't live without. The car you were so proud of, the clothes that once made you feel important. Where are they now? Most likely they've been replaced, worn out, or forgotten. Possessions pass through our lives like waves on the shore, fading as quickly as they arrive. But experiences remain. Love remains. The memory of a smile, a shared struggle, a victory celebrated together, those become part of who you are, woven into your story forever. This is why possessions can never define true richness. They are temporary by nature. Experiences, love, and community, on the other hand, live on within you. Even when a person passes away, what do we remember about them? Not the size of their bank account, not the make of their car, not the brand of their clothes. We remember how they made us feel. We remember the times they showed up, the laughter they shared, the love they gave. That is what lingers, that is what endures. Marley's statement also reminds us of something profound. When you define your wealth by possessions, you're always at risk of losing it. The market shifts, accidents happen, things break, thieves steal. But when your wealth is defined by the richness of life itself, it cannot be taken from you. A person who knows their richness is love, connection, and purpose walks through the world unafraid of loss because their true treasure is untouchable. Let's pause here for a reflection. Close your eyes for a moment and bring to mind a possession you once cherished. See it clearly. Now notice what happened to it. Maybe you still have it. Maybe you lost it. Maybe it broke. Maybe you outgrew it. Notice the impermanence. Now shift your attention to a meaningful memory, perhaps the first time you held someone's hand and felt safe, or a moment of deep laughter with a friend, or the peace of watching a sunrise after a long night. Which feels more alive in you now? Which still brings warmth? That is the difference between possessions and true wealth. In the modern world, it is easy to forget this. We are constantly bombarded with messages that say, buy this and you'll be happy, own this and you'll be respected, accumulate enough and you'll be secure. But look closely, are the happiest people you know the ones with the most possessions, or are they the ones who live fully, who love deeply, who give generously? Possessions can decorate a life, but they cannot create one. When Marley said his richness was life forever, he was pointing to something universal. Life is happening right now. In this very breath, you are rich. You have the gift of awareness, the ability to feel, to connect, to love. This richness isn't postponed for the day you finally earn enough or buy enough. It is available here in the present moment. Each breath, each heartbeat, each connection is a reminder that life itself is the greatest treasure. So let's bring this into practice. With your next inhale, feel the fullness of life entering your body. With your next exhale, let go of the illusion that possessions define you. Inhale life. Exhale illusion. Let that rhythm guide you for a few breaths. Feel how abundant life is, how it flows freely, how it cannot be measured by things. As you continue, imagine yourself surrounded not by objects but by people. Picture the faces of those who bring you joy, family, friends, community. Imagine the sound of their voices, tea. This perspective changes the way you live. When you realize that life itself is richness, you stop measuring yourself against others. You stop chasing endlessly for the next possession, the next achievement, the next upgrade. Instead, you start noticing the abundance already present. The laughter of children, the sound of rain, the warmth of a hug, the feeling of belonging. These are the treasures that no one can take away. Marley's wisdom invites us to step off the treadmill of accumulation and step into the freedom of presence. It reminds us that we can be free right now, that richness is not a destination but a recognition. When we shift our focus from what we own to how we live, we unlock a wealth that is infinite, eternal, unshakable. So the question becomes, what will you choose to measure your life by? Possessions that fade, or a richness that lives forever? Take one more deep breath. Feel the life flowing in and out, the same life Marley called his true wealth. Know that in this breath, in this moment, you are already rich. When we expand our definition of wealth, a whole new world opens up. Instead of seeing abundance as a number in the bank, we begin to notice it in the fabric of our daily lives. Wealth becomes holistic. It is not just about finances, but about the balance of family, health, creativity, joy, and community. This wider lens allows us to recognize the treasures that were always present, waiting for us to pay attention. Take family, for example. Think of the people who know you not for your achievements or possessions, but for who you are at your core. Family, whether by blood or chosen through deep friendship, is a form of wealth that money cannot buy. It is the hug of a child, the wisdom of a grandparent, the laughter shared over a meal. It is the support you feel when life becomes difficult. Even in moments of conflict, the bonds of love and belonging give us a foundation that no financial asset can replace. To be rich in family is to never feel completely alone. Now consider health. Imagine the wealth hidden in the ability to wake up in the morning with energy, to breathe deeply, to walk freely, to taste food, to feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. We often overlook this form of abundance until illness or injury reminds us how precious it is. Health is the silent fortune that underlies everything else. Without it, money loses its meaning. With it, every experience becomes more vibrant. To care for your body is to protect your greatest treasure, because it allows you to live fully in each moment. Creativity too is a form of wealth. You may not think of it this way, but the ability to imagine, to express, to build, to dream is a richness of the soul. When you write a poem, paint a picture, cook a meal with love, or solve a problem with ingenuity, you are spending from a bank that never runs dry. Creativity fuels joy and resilience. It makes life not only functional but beautiful. A creative spirit can turn even difficult times into opportunities for growth. This is why societies treasure their artists and storytellers. They remind us of the richness of imagination, which no economy can measure. And then there's joy. Think of joy not as fleeting pleasure, but as the deep satisfaction that arises when you are fully present. The sound of children laughing, the sight of the stars on a clear night, the moment of peace when you sit quietly and let your worries dissolve. Joy doesn't require wealth, it creates it. Because when joy is alive in you, everything feels abundant. A simple cup of tea becomes a ceremony. A walk through your neighborhood becomes a journey. Joy transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, reminding you that richness is a state of being, not a possession. Community is another treasure we too often underestimate. In a world where isolation has become common, true community is wealth beyond measure. It is neighbors who look out for each other, friends who share meals, groups that celebrate victories and grieve losses together. When you are part of a community, you are held. You are supported not by what you own, but by the web of human connection. This wealth strengthens you, reminding you that abundance is not about standing alone at the top, but about walking together in the journey of life. Holistic wealth is the recognition that abundance cannot be reduced to one category. It is not a single trophy to win, but a mosaic of experiences and relationships. If one piece is missing, say you have financial success, but poor health, the picture feels incomplete. True abundance requires balance. It asks us to nurture each dimension of life, to see value in what is unseen, and to measure success not just by what we earn, but by how we live. Let's anchor this with a reflection. Close your eyes for a moment and picture your life as a circle divided into parts. Family, health, creativity, joy, community, finances. Look at each slice honestly. Where is there abundance? Where is there scarcity? Which areas feel neglected and which are flourishing? This exercise is not about judgment, but awareness. Awareness is the first step toward balance.